feminism only actually works against white men.
Oh,
really?
Yes.
Well, that's true, because they completely ignore the Islamic
It's to do.
One thing the state always does when a new revolution takes place or a new group seizes power in a state, in order to make the society easily managed, they will eliminate the men. Sometimes they shoot them, sometimes they put them in prison as political prisoners. In our society, they simply the state destroys men psychologically, makes men weak because they think weak men are easier to manage than strong men. The state believes that weak men are safe. I tell you that actually weak men are the most dangerous creatures on earth. It's never a strong man that hurts the weak. It's only weak people who become bullies. It's only weak men and women who commit crimes against other people. We should be afraid of the weak, not afraid of the strong. Men have to start talking to one another honestly. And one way that can be done is by re-establishing male communities. Now feminists, mostly female feminists, there are male feminists as well, see this as terribly frightening because they imagine that if men get together, we're going to talk about how nasty women are. But I can put your minds at rest here, because the strange thing is when men get together, we don't talk about women at all. Maybe that's worse, I don't know. We don't talk about women at all. What we do is we drop all the manoid shit. We stop pretending to be men and we relax because there's nobody to pretend for. We don't need to impress any women, so we can be ourselves. Because we can be ourselves and be authentic, then real communication can happen. I believe that more and more men get together in this way, we can start reducing the suicide rate. Isn't it interesting? The suicide rate is so closely linked to feminism. It started taking off amongst men around about 1960, which is arbitrarily when feminism really became the establishment ideology of this country and also America. Female depression started increasing at the same time, but fewer women, for whatever reason, successfully kill themselves. They simply continue to be depressed for long periods and go in and out of treatment or make unsuccessful attempts at killing themselves. As a result of that, when men try and kill themselves, they are successful at it. Suicide rate among men as compared to women is 8 times greater. And it shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening.
Mr. Speaker.
No, it's not. Please listen. Before you ask questions, please listen to at least find out what I'm talking about. The cause is not women. The cause is feminism. Feminism is an ideology believed in by both men and women. It has a way of sort of seeping into you, so a lot of us have actually got feminist assumptions, even if we don't consider ourselves to be feminists. What feminism is at base, it's a way to keep everybody play acting. It says to men, well, you are this patriarch, you're strong, you're brutal, you're a dominator of the world, and you've got to keep on playing that role because this is what we respect you for, or at least fear you for. And it says to women, you have got to carry on playing your role. You can't become a fully rounded, strong, independent woman, because even if you don't think you're a victim of the patriarchy. No point in trying to be something in life because the patriarchy is going to stop you unless we rescue you from the patriarchy. So what it does, it says that men have to play their stupid little role, which is destructive and causing men to kill themselves at huge rates. And it says that women have to play this stupid girly bimbo role, which is also equally destructive to them because women are so much more than stupid bimbos. I call when a man is playing this allotted role.
You're saying that most women
I call them a manoids.
I've never met any women.
Now, when a woman is pretending that she's helpless and in need of being rescued by men or by the state or by the feminist movement, I don't call her a womanoid, I call her a girloid, because that's what it's basically doing.
Girloid? Oh, that's a good one.
A man is supposed to go around believing himself, whether he's a white knight or a male feminist or whatever, as being the rescuer of women from some imaginary peril. And female feminists are supposed to go through the world pretending to be so weak that they cannot actually get a job without a quota that guarantees they get the job, regardless of the qualifications.
Yeah, apparently.
And they can't actually do anything at all without special dumbed down qualifications for them or special allowances. What the feminism says to the women is, you can't make it on your own, you can't make it on your merits, you're not good enough. You need us to ensure that you're going to be successful regardless of any talent or energy or any hard work. Which is a very attractive message, isn't it? Success is guaranteed regardless of effort.
So exam board.
But I would tell you, what the cost of this cost-free guarantee is.
Has a lower threat on what exam board.
Women as a whole in this country suffer from terrible self-image problems.
Where's your evidence for that?
Well, of course they do.
So girls have lower
Of course they do.
than boys. What
If they have got their jobs by quotas,
without having a shred of evidence.
if they've got their jobs by quota, not talent, if they've been given everything in life without effort or sacrifice or struggle, of course they have low self-image, because they look at themselves in the mirror and they see a fraud. But it's not them who's a fraud, it's the movement that says that a woman cannot achieve anything without it being guaranteed to her. It's the political movement called feminism, which says that a woman needs feminism to achieve anything. I say that's a lie. Women can achieve things on merit. Women are not helpless little babies. Women can achieve things by work, just like men. And that is the way to find self-image, that's the way to achieve self-esteem, to achieve something, to do something, to make something. Not to be a parasite and upon a leech upon the state and whatever men happen to be near them. Not to play helpless and try and be the helpless little girl. The way to achieve something is do what Margaret Thatcher did. She put it very clearly. She said to any woman who was asking for special quotas and for life to be made easier to them, she said, are you a quota woman or are you a merit woman? So that's the question I want to put to you.
Where do you get this nonsense from?
Do you want to get something on quota because everyone feels sorry for you because you're only a little girl?
Where are their quotas? Where are their quotas?
Or do you want to earn something through hard work? Honestly, that's the question. Because your self-image is not going to improve until you work and do something, I'm afraid. Stop leeching off the state, stop leeching off men, stop playing helpless. It's my message to you.
Right, thank you.
My message to men, on the other hand, is do the unthinkable. Ask yourself what you want from life, not what you can give or whether you can be a better this or better that, or better employee, or earn more money, or drive a bigger car. Ask yourself what you want from life and what would make you happy.
Women.
Because life is short. Life is far shorter than any of us know. It speeds up as you get older. And you only have now to actually realise that we have to seize the day
didn't you know that?
and to start thinking about ourselves for a change. Now, all hell is going to break out. The feminists are going to say, these men who would consider themselves for change must hate women. They must hate women. Of course, in fact, it's already breaking out. I say that at the end of this process, women are actually going to prefer the authentic men who are actually a full-rounded human being rather than the manoid who pretends to be a player role.
Manoid.
What
That's a
they
good
think,
one.
what
That's
they
a new
think
one.
men
What's a
might
manoid?
want,
Is that
women
in the
want from
dictionary,
them.
manoid?
Have you just made
Soon
it
will
up?
be. I've just made it up.
Just like
just
your
made it up.
stats about coursework.
Yeah, just made it up. Anyway. That's
Well,
better.
how
Okay.
can they not want to be something that you've just made up?
That's a nonsense sentence. It doesn't even mean
You
anything.
just said they don't want to be
How
the
can you not
manoid
want something you've
when
just
you've
made
just
up?
made
What
the
on earth?
term up?
That is a meaningless sentence. This is what we have. We often find that male feminists in particular are really not that bright, and they can't construct sentences properly.
Oh, we're not
together
bright
properly.
now,
It's true.
I
The
thought
feminism
we're
is the
Insulting.
refuge
Why don't you
of
just
the
insult
second-rate
people that don't agree with
mind.
you?
Feminism is the refuge of the second-rate mind. Basically, if you're not a feminist, you have to achieve something on merits. But if you're a feminist, you can often, very often, you can get yourself a government job and an expense account and a nice little index-linked government pension for really
Well, can you
producing
give us
nothing
some
at all.
examples?
That can be measured.
That bit's true.
Hey,
That's
give
the
us a
first
few
bit true.
examples.
Okay, that's true. And this gentleman here is a civil servant, so we can
I'm not
actually
a
say.
civil servant.
I heard you were.
bureaucrat.
Okay.
I'm a bureaucrat.
He's a bureaucrat of some sort anyway.
Paper-pushing
So
bureaucrat.
he a paper bureaucrat. But at least you recognise the uselessness of your fellow.
Of myself.
No, you're agreeing with me, so I'm going to be nice to you. Of your fellow state
Careful,
employed
You want him to be
leeches.
nice to
I'm a
you.
No, you're not leech because you recognise the uselessness of your fellow leeches. But I'm going to give you a free pass for the time
Fellow
being
leech.
because you're agreeing with me. See, all you need
Are
to
leeches
do, if
male
you want me
or
to be nice.
hermaphrodite? Are they hermaphrodite?
I've met both male and female leeches,
Which
but
you
they are
prefer?
overwhelmingly employed by the state sector. That's the defining characteristic, not their sex. Why is it that we need this huge, great bureaucracy to tell us what to do?
Does it give
Why
people
is it?
employment?
Well, I tell you what, it gives people employment. You're right. It gives
Rapid
them
employment,
it gives the leeches employment, and it keeps us in line. What the state does is it likes to convince us that we're incapable of making wise decisions in life
What kind of
without
decisions
their
are they imposing on
wise,
us? Can you give us some
wise
examples?
guidance.
This is just
But don't you think the-
hyperbole.
rapists.
Don't you think the
Well,
state
quite
wastes more
honestly,
money on race
these
than
are
on gender?
quite possibly these are
Won't talk about that.
7-year-old boys being told, 7-year-old boys being told what sexual consult is.
I don't think so.
Well, the
consent is.
madrasas could do with a bit of that, couldn't they? I don't know about us.
The amazing thing about this, what on earth does a 7-year-old need to know about sexual consent for? Are there any circumstances in which a 7-year-old boy can sexually consent to anything being done to him? So the whole thing's nonsense.
What you're
Anything
saying
you
is
do
I've
to a
never heard of
7-year-old
that.
boy is sexual abuse, whether or not some feminist says that it actually is consent legally. And a 7-year-old boy, I really can't imagine a 7-year-old boy raping an adult woman.
Are you
Most
serious?
side difference
There's
apart from anything
lessons
else.
on-
Yes, there are. Yeah.
Or are you talking
what,
about
what consent
Where?
is?
Or is this another made up?
No,
You're talking
this
about
is
sex
school.
education.
I'm talking about lessons on what sexual consent is. They probably call it sex education lessons. They probably call it that. Who knows? But anyway, my view is a 7-year-old boy does not need to be told that he's a potential rapist. Because let's just try and imagine the effect that would have upon a boy. To be told at the age of 7 that he's a potential rapist, potential monster.
Where
And to be
where
told
has
that
this been
over and over and over again, both
a lot
at
of your
school
stuff is made
and on the
up.
television
School?
and in the media.
It's on the TV.
Now, can you imagine what that would do to a boy by the time he's 16? If a boy believes he is a sexual monster, and let's say by feminism, what is that going to do to him? Is that going to make him a safer human being or a less safe human being? I believe a boy who's told that boys and men can behave honourably and decently and with respect towards women is a safer person to have around than a boy who's been told he's nothing but an untamed monster.
And that's what they say. You're nothing but a... Is that what they
What a load of rubbish. I've never
don't
heard
use
of
those
this
words, but it's
happening.
been true.
Have you ever heard of it? No. I think
Are
Are you
not
7-year-old? You look a little bit older than 7 to me. So, okay.
My age has got nothing to do with it.
It does.
Where have you
It
got the
does.
evidence for this?
Of course it does.
Where did this happen? That they were told that they're a potential rapist, a child of 7. Come on, where
Go
did it
to
happen?
the Department of
It hasn't
Education. Go to the Department of Education. All of them. All of them. It's central government guidelines. Whether or not you believe me doesn't matter. All I ask
does matter, doesn't
is
it?
if you consider it an important issue, do your research, find out for yourself, and you will discover that what I'm saying is true. Because according to the
But
feminists,
you can't identify where it was publicised or what your source for that information is. Can you tell us where you got the information?
I got it from the Telegraph, and also there was a link. Yeah, there's a link. There's a link to the Department of Education website. This is no secret. It's public policy. It's completely out in the open, and they're not even ashamed of what they're doing.
In the article there.
Yeah, says the man who's never read it. Find out for yourself, and if you're not, at least listen to someone who's actually read the article rather than somebody who hasn't. That would seem to be the sensible
Well, yeah, but
thing
you
to
can
do.
say anything, can't you? And say, oh, it was in a paper
Check your
6
facts.
months ago.
All you have to do is do your own research, read the stuff for yourself. I don't expect you to believe anything for myself, anything just because I say
Well, I will believe it if you've
but I
got
do
some credible
expect
source
you.
for this.
Daily Telegraph is credible as far as the Department of Education is credible
Telegraph.
also.
You got a copy
When?
with you?
No, I don't, strangely enough.
Strangely enough,
Neither
he
to you.
hasn't.
Neither to you.
Convenience.
I'm sure I can get it
Anyway,
on my phone.
let's actually talk about a more constructive angle.
The dissertation, I wasn't aware he was. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a bit of a
I don't happen to have an entire library with
verbal or
me.
written,
No,
you have
it's
to
only
get
one
it
piece
out
of
of
paper we
the
want. Go back to the manoids anyway, I want to know about them.
The manoids.
You know the
Yes,
manoids.
it's a new one to me, that.
Yeah, you are. By the way, I'll give you an example of your manoidness. Is this a serious question, by the way, or
I
not?
don't know what they are.
A manoid is a man who's pretending to be somebody else's idea of what a man is. It can be, for instance,
what might that be?
this gentleman here who has a self-image who basically says
I'm going to waste the night.
that I am the only decent man around. I'm going to prove that by being ultra feminist and ultra politically correct and ultra obedient to authority.
A flip-flop.
And because of that, women
Can you
should
see
trust me
yourself in
and
that
should not
description?
trust
Can you
a
see
man who
yourself?
thinks
You just wanna make
independently
everybody happy.
in any way.
Don't you?
Sorry?
You just want to make everybody happy and be nice to everybody.
Yes,
Is
yes,
that
ultimately,
your-
yes.
Is that what you
yes,
do?
yes. I attempt to do so.
Reading the
Because what I say is I say men and women should be treated as individuals and not stereotypes. Feminism says that you two, for instance, are victims and you need to be rescued from your false consciousness because men are brainwashed you. Your thoughts aren't your own. Who are a lot. Now, feminism says that you're basically victims, regardless of whether or not you are. And if you don't think you're a victim, if you think you're a capable woman who's capable of doing things for themselves, feminism says, no, don't be silly. That's what the patriarchy wants you to think. And feminism says that you are evil. You're evil because you're patriarchal. Okay, there really is a brainwash example. So evil, you can't actually stop yourself raping and molesting women unless feminism stops you. No, I don't think that's true. I think you're better than that, and I think she is better than what feminism says she is. I believe that we have to start looking at people, both men and women, as individuals. Not as what authority says we are, not as what authority says we are, not what the government says we are, not something in obedience to authority. We need to start looking at one another as equals and as respects and start talking honestly about things, because men in particular are so afraid to talk about gender issues, about the way men and women are treated in the society, because any man who gives an opinion on anything like this is automatically assumed to be, you know, some sort of evil sexist bastard. So men as a whole keep very quiet about their opinions. I'm saying we need to start talking honestly with one another and actually give real opinions. Now, one of the defence mechanisms we have is irony, that we're expected to say, oh, I'm evil, I'm a bastard, I'm a man. I don't believe that in a minute, and I don't think you believe it for a moment.
I've never ever thought of myself as being
need to
evil.
start talking to one another with respect.
You're going to burn
Because
forever.
that's the one thing. That's the one thing feminism does.
You're born
It destroys
You're a sinner.
honest communication, destroys respect.
You're going to burn.
Because when I look at you, I don't see an evil person or even a potential evil person. I see another human being who's exactly like me. And that's exactly what I do when I look at a woman. I don't see a victim. I don't see a weak person who needs to be rescued by the government or by me.
Do you see
or by
somebody you
authoritarian laws.
fancy?
That
That's
depends
another
on
question.
the situation, you know. For example, I work
but
for a public ministry and we search for human trafficking, and it's pretty hard.
Okay,
It's not little
that's a real
boys that are being
situation.
trafficked in the main, is it?
That is a real situation. Okay, that's a real situation. But when I look at a woman, for instance, I don't see a victim. When I look at you, I don't see a victim. I don't think, oh, that poor woman needs to be rescued by the state. She needs to be told what to think and what to do and protected from the evil men like this. I see a woman. I see a woman who's just as capable of knowing her own mind about things as I am.
Yeah.
I see a woman who's capable of getting a job on merit,
I wonder what the numbers
not
are.
because of some quota.
Boys taken it.
I don't see a poor little weak, helpless princess that needs to be rescued. I see a human being just like myself. And therefore, if you're an anti-feminist, you see women as your equal. If you're a feminist, you see women as poor, helpless victims that need to be rescued. That's the difference. I can recognise humanity in all people. A feminist can only see two classifications.
But women can't be equal totally. In certain jobs, like on this building site over here, you wouldn't expect to see women working on
That's all they think. That's all they think.
Also, women rape men, but they are not arrested for that.
Yeah, true. It happens. And under British law, a woman cannot legally rape a
I've
man.
been raped many times, man.
You probably have been according to feminist ideology.
a few times.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, let's talk about positive things that can be done.
Yeah, positive. Something
Now,
positive.
one of the things I'm doing, I'm setting up something I call a London book club.
Oh, look out.
Because what's happened is feminism has monopolised information. So you can only. So what it's done is it said we control the universities. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a feminist version of reality. And teach you our worldview along with it. And if you disagree with our worldview, you're not going to get your degree. So then your career is
Did you
destroyed.
write this book?
What men have to start doing, and women as well, we need to start finding our own sources of information and educating ourselves. Because we cannot rely upon the state to tell us what to think. Because, surprise, surprise, they will tend to tell us things that suit them and not us. We need to discover
meet men
the
in
truth
nightclubs.
for ourselves. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting this library together again, which I'm hoping to lend
Who's
to
it
people.
written by?
Very big library, is it?
I just took 2 books when I came here at random. This is the book of Idle Pleasures.
It wasn't a very hungry caterpillar that you chose.
One of the reasons men have become so obedient and
thought you were gonna
tame
say obese.
and easily controlled is because we are so we work so hard, we never have the time to stop and think and reflect upon life and upon our relationships with other people. So anyway, in London, an organisation has been set up called the Idlers Academy, which teaches people how to be idle. So I'm just going to open a page at random.
Did you read?
It's all absolutely brilliant.
Well, I read the
Yeah, I'm self-taught as well. Anyway,
I have a degree in idolism.
good.
I have a PhD.
I'm just going to read this at random. Tree climbing. Why do we need to pay to go to hellish, antiseptic, odour-free, plastic kids' play parks when trees are all around us for climbing? Trees, which are all different, all unique,
You
all
can't
magical,
slide down a
are there
tree.
for the taking, for the climbing, for the sitting in, for the smelling. Become like a bird. It's little tiny bits of information like this will actually help you to slow down, to recognise that, as the cliche says, the best thing in life is free.
Parks aren't free.
And we don't have to be grateful to the state for providing these things. Being aware of nature is something that human beings create for themselves. You don't need a state's permission to do it. One of the things feminism says, by the way, is that only women really have a sense of beauty, and that men are so brutish and ignorant that we can't actually appreciate the beauty. No, I'm not. But if any person who genuinely wishes to know something about the world wishes to join the London Book Club, come along to the Cross Keys at around 8:30 in the morning, Fridays, which I'm going to have breakfast, we'll have some books,
If you've got
and
nothing
we can
better to
discuss.
do, I suppose.
That's right. No, you've got to practice what you preach. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. They've had enough of me by Friday, I take
I
Friday
bet
off.
they have, yeah.
Okay.
I bet they've had enough of you by 10 o'clock Monday.
This looks like the good book coming out.
Good book, the holy book.
Yes, it's the book. One of the things you find, by the way, one of the ways that people are miseducated really is we have Marxist historians teaching school. What they basically do is they start off from a rational statement, which is okay. We know about what the kings do, we know about what the literate people do, we don't know about what the
Getting better all the
peasants do. So what they then do is they say, well, let's try and guess what the peasants think about things. So they have a history which completely actually really leaves out all the salient facts, and purely consists of saying, oh well, all these peasants over there, they're all communists, and all the peasants over there which are female are all feminists. Based on no evidence whatever. And the one thing a Marxist historian will never allow you to do is to read any source materials, any letters, any diaries, any speeches made at the time. Because as soon as you do that, you realise that everything they're telling you is a crock of shit and a lie.
Apart from the fact that they are.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to re-educate myself
in the state education a bit of a
by actually reading the original documents. Because what we find is what they say to us is completely untrue. That the people who claimed that they were fighting for religion really did believe they were fighting for religion. They were not secretly
He's right on something.
feminists or secretly socialists. No, they really did mean what they were saying. It's very, very important.
Are you a member of his club?
Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm becoming a little hoarse, so I'm going to hand over to somebody else.
Oh, the horse.
One of these ladies.
I heard you were a large stallion.
Oh, look out! Here we go.
You've got a third class drinking degree, haven't you?
In idleness. No. I asked you whether you had a third class degree. I asked you whether you had a third class degree in idleness. A drinker's degree.
Far better.
Well, lower second.
Better. First class honours in
First class.
idleness.
With not a double first then.
No, not that.
Does anybody have any provisional heckles before I get going? I am the Energizer Bunny.
I'll let you start.
I am the Energizer Bunny. I will go until I start getting thirsty.
Is that up to BS standards?
Is that up to BS? I think it is. Well, it's got a tooth mark on.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder what the breaking strain was.
well, I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? It's all about experimentation.
It is.
Yep. Now, anybody have any thoughts, any questions regarding gender politics? Basically, it's probably in its worst state it's ever been.
I've got a question.
Shoot.
What were the gender politics in Cologne on New Year's Eve?
Oh, well,
Let's
basically,
talk about that.
okay, this is interesting. This is actually a rape culture, somewhat like Stockholm and Rochdale. This is where there is an entire group of people who are known to the police for participating in sexual assault, but are completely absolved of any responsibility. Say again? No, we're talking wrong religion, but thank you for that. That was also arguably a rape culture. This is an institutional rape culture. The mayor of Cologne actually told women a couple of weeks ago that they need to basically dress more modestly around the migrants. It was the migrants, not the immigrants. The migrants. This is the large proportion of the new population who are from North Africa rather than Syria, mostly men. And it's
There's a few Syrians among them as well.
mostly
Some
women,
of those arrested
mostly
are
women and
Syrians.
children from Syria, mostly men from North Africa. What do you mean?
Well, there's not that many they've arrested yet, is it? Yes, it was.
They haven't
It was
actually.
only men.
Well, they did arrest some, but they had to let them go because they were getting
The cells
more
were
extreme,
full.
more
And the
extreme,
cells were full.
more extreme and persistent offenders, and they had to let the guys who'd just done the pickpocketing out so they could stick some rapists in. curiously, it's a little bit like the Swedish government, in that the Swedish government stopped keeping demographic statistics in 2003 of any sexual assault. It seems as though when I can't remember what's the second city in Sweden? The chief of police was actually lambasted for making links between the new population coming in being very predominantly responsible for sexual assault.
The city of Malmo, I think, is the rape capital.
I think it may well be Malmo.
The rape capital of Europe.
Do you think this is a more valid subject than your male?
Well, no. This is rape culture. Now, this is actual rape culture. This is actually courses at public expense being provided to men not to rape. To teach them not to rape.
We've heard this.
However,
is this the Telegraph?
no. However, interestingly, since feminism only actually works against white men.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that's true because they completely ignore the Islamic.
It's to do with intersectional feminism. That is, every degree to which you are considered to be oppressed. That is, if you're melanin rich, if you are. You don't have a Y chromosome.
This is the Marxist left agenda.
This is the
the
cultural Marxist thing, where basically there is a caste system of oppression with white men right at the bottom because I could obviously possibly be oppressed. And every step up, every degree to which you are oppressed, thus making the midget, Vietnamese, lesbian, epileptic, single mother of 15, the queen of the caste system of oppression. She wins in the oppression Olympics. So basically wealthy, educated white women under the age of 40, and that's the only group that feminism has ever actually benefited. The only people that they are, by their own stupid definition, more oppressed than is white men. And the moment anybody who isn't a white man pipes up, then they have to shut up. So it only works against white men. Now, when you start having large...
It's not a bit racial.
Yes, feminism is racist. That is, it prejudges on the basis of race. And it also prejudges people on the basis of sex. So it is prejudice. It is sex-based prejudice. Thank you for that. No, feminism predates social critical theory and the Frankfurt School from the 1930s. The women's movement comes from the 1840s. Frankfurt School.
It has a lot of basis.
It shares that they have made a Faustian pact with the social justice movement, and unfortunately, the one thing which is kryptonite to feminism is rape from Muslims. Now, I'm not prepared. Incidentally, I'm not prepared to accept that is racism, because anything that you can convert to and convert from isn't a race.
But I think.
So let's.
I wouldn't disagree with a lot of what you're saying, but I think what you need to acknowledge.
It's my presentation, isn't it?
No,
that sounds a little bit.
I think that
Well, just stick around.
What you're saying, you need to acknowledge the fact that a lot of what you're talking about, which could well be true, is a reaction to the powers that have held certain people down in society and have allowed.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, ancestral guilt is a
discriminated, so I'm going to go and rape your women.
Excuse me. Ancestral guilt is a really dangerous precedent to set unless you happen to be Tibetan.
What you just said is an interpretation.
Typical Marxist left-wing lie.
Wait, it's the little goatee beard, isn't it?
They've been persecuted, so therefore that justifies their crime.
No living man has oppressed any woman
All I need to look at is
on the basis of sex.
Look at the research from the USA and from certain countries in Europe on social mobility. You see everything you need to know.
You are justifying the rape and sexual attacks on dozens of women in a Western European city a few days ago.
Are you suggesting that this man is a rape enabler? So you're a rape enabler.
His cultural leftist agenda.
So you're a rape
enabler.
enabler. So you're a rape enabler then?
Yes. He's not challenging it. He's not saying how awful it was. He's trying to justify it.
Are you, or have you ever been a rape enabler?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know you. I don't
Like I
know
say, stick
enough of
around.
your opinion to be able to answer that question.
Okay, stick around.
I am. I'm planning on it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So the whole rape culture thing, this was originally a term used in North American prisons, where rape is used as a system of management control. They basically put you into a cell with a 300-pound biker called Mary Sue for 23 hours a day, and you become a little bit submissive and easier to manage. Now, when they took this and attempted to apply it generally to the culture, this is not a rape culture. The UK, generally speaking, except for Rotherham, is not a rape culture.
And a few other cities.
A few other cities.
Not just Rotherham.
And when they say rape culture, this is something where basically the police would turn a blind eye to rape. They don't. You know, people get arrested and raped in prison for rape. You know, they're biblical.
To see more videos like this, subscribe to Titans TV down below. Thanks.
The greatest darky that bite with shark teeth and hate malarkey. Who are you? The greatest heartbeat. Ancient Egypt is amazing.
Did the Prophet Muhammad split the moon?
Did he do it? No, with the permission of...
Sorry, did God split the moon?
Yes, through him to show people. Yes.
Did Muhammad fly into heaven on a white horse?
Yes, sir.
I said you seem like an intelligent man.